Yes. Yes, please.
Shanta was mentioning that although she's having the other similar condition, everything, but she in particular is sensitive that I should not be bitten by a single mosquito also, whereas other people may not mind, okay, one bite is doesn't
It's
matter.
a mental condition.
But this person is very sensitive and wants to avoid a single bite at any cost. So this cost of a mosquito net is not a big one if she takes into consideration. So is it then a conclusion?
No, that
The sensation.
Individual needs to actually respond to that. Shanta, will you be able to explain this? What is and now can you inquire into that whether there is a mental condition?
Yeah, actually, I had slept once when we had gone out, no, out of home. All others, they just switched on, all out and all. They slept off, yeah, with fan and all. But for me, all others were sleeping. But for me, again, mosquitoes were coming and they were, moving around my head and a few a bit also. So I get very much distracted like this when it happens. And I experienced those kinds of things a few days, and then I decided for me, mosquitoes will definitely, they will come and disturb my sleep. So I have this, I need to have a mosquito net. Otherwise, even with all out, and I have in my mind that I should not smell that all out and all. And when I just sleep directly below the fan, I get a kind of throat infection and all. So all that is there. That's why I'm addicted to actually mosquito net.
Right. So now under this understanding of P1 and P3, all these phenomena that you mentioned, there are physical reasons and mental conditioning, both are happening. So for example, when you look at the all out kind of repellent, it's definitely a chemical infusion in the air, surrounding air, and it's a physical threat, physical hazard that you are identifying. Yes. And which is very much reasonable. The physical hazard without obsession. If you are not obsessive about it, to throw it away, but understanding and observing that this is a physical hazard and an impurity in the surrounding air.
Yeah.
And the impact of fan also in your throat experience, there is a physical.
I've experienced it many times. Yeah.
Yes. So there. Yes, ma'am.
I'm relying on a mosquito net.
So if you are actually sketching and understanding, comparing the impact of fan, impact of repellent and mosquito net, then the mosquito net out of these three is least hazardous.
Yes, yeah.
And this understanding may lead you to choose mosquito net, lead you to choose mosquito net. But if you are saying that without mosquito also, if mosquito net is not there, then I feel disturbed. Then it's a mental dependency that you have created, juxtaposed onto the mosquito net. That you need to observe it. Like there is no strategy to overcome that is being proposed. But the moment you understand that this is a mental dependency, this is not a physical dependency. The dependency has got two connotations. One is this, that I need to protect myself physically and do some measure. And moment to moment, that measure may be something, not the same thing. Are you able to comprehend the difference between the mental dependency and the physical dependency?
There is a physical dependency there, but there is to little extent mental dependency is also there. That thought is there in my mind that with my mosquito net I can get a good sleep without any disturbance, and I want to have a very good sleep. So that conditioning is there.
Yes. So all these proposals, when you look at with tentativity, that okay, mosquito net could be one measure that might lead me to have a good sleep. But mosquito net is the measure which will lead me to have a good sleep is a mental condition. Are you able to understand the difference between these two proposals? One is a
Please come again.
conclusion. So one is a tentativity that mosquito net might lead me to have a good sleep. Mosquito net is a measure which might lead me to have a good sleep.
Okay.
And the second proposal is the mosquito net is the measurement which will lead me to have good sleep. Do you see the difference between these two statements?
Yes, yes.
You see?
I don't have the second one.
You opt second one or first one? Observe and respond. Hello? Can you hear me?
There is loss of connection. Just a second.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please come again. There was
Yeah,
loss
so-
of connection.
So two proposals. Could you follow the two proposals? One
Yeah,
is
in the
with
first-
tentativity, which is a tentative proposal, and another is a confirmation, conclusion.
No, that kind of conclusion is not there because when I go home to my brother's home, their mosquitoes are not there. There,
Okay.
without mosquito, you can sleep. But when it is in my home, there are mosquitoes. I used to have mosquitoes. So
Right.
the tentative dependence is there.
Yes, tentative conclusion and a conclusion. There are two different. So these things actually, when you probe into, go deeper, then also like a lot of things. So in this condition, at your home also, there will be seasons or days in the season where there is no mosquito. As we discussed with Vinal also, the same thing can be actually inquired into. That in those days of the season where there is no mosquito at all, do I still feel dependency?
I have. It is not a dependency, like a habit. I have made it, put on a mosquito net and then sleep. But now I have to inquire and check myself.
Yes.
And
That's
see
what is the
whether
proposal. No? You may end up using mosquito net throughout your life, but this inquiry is very much needed.
Yeah.
Any kind of loose end at the inquiry, any point of our life, any moment of our life, if we leave it loose, that okay, chalta hai kind of. It will overpower. It will bring repeated loops within.
Yeah. Correct.
Because that's a knack that we form. Believing an idea without questioning, without inquiring is a knack. No matter however small the belief is, seemingly. But it brings along a knack of believing unquestionably. Knack of accepting the things without question. And that's a tremendous load on our energy. And we don't notice it usually.
Yeah.
Great. So, yes, so we have around 10 minutes. So any reflection or anything? Deepa is unmuting.
Yeah, I had a question. When we were discussing the conflicting and confusing loops, we were trying to see where the morphing is coming from. So one example that was coming to mind was having expectations from others. Like, let's say I have an expectation from someone else. I was trying to see where is the morphing, like where one is it is coming from a sensation. It might seem like it's coming from a natural sensation, but it's actually a perceptual sensation. But where is the morphing happening is what I was wondering.
Let's work on this. Repeat the proposal with this illustration. You have an expectation from someone.
I have an expectation of an action from someone, let's say.
You have an expectation of an action from someone. Okay. So expectation is a sensation.
Yes.
Expectation is a sensation. Yes. Then
Yes. For me, it is justified in some sense कि वो action होना चाहिए from the other person.
from the other
So where
person.
is the morphing? Huh?
This is this only. So you have an idea of an action. You have an idea of an action to be performed. That's an idea. It's a P3 to P2. So you have concluded within you that that must be performed. That action must be performed. It's an idea that you are nurturing and bringing an expectation. So it is a P3 to P2.
And so where is the morphing here? What is the...
It is a direct, there is no morphing. It's a reverse loop only.
Oh, okay.
It's a reverse loop. Directly, this is number one.
Okay.
Now, I'll just give you an example of morphing. Suppose that action has been performed. That action has been performed. And seeing that action or experiencing that action, you have a sensation. You have a sensation and you are saying that, see, I'm very much satisfied with your action. Which is basically is not the action, but the idea of action. 4 equals to 1. You are telling yourself that because of this action, I am getting a sensation. But actually that is an idea of action, which is giving you a sensation. It is not the action which is satisfying you, but it is an idea of mapping with your idea, which is giving you a satisfaction. As if you have won the battle of your expectation.
Okay.
So it's basically this one and this one. So action was not a focus, but if it is performed, then we tell ourselves that the action is the reason. Action is the reason. You know? So action is actually not the reason. The idea of action is the reason.
Yes.
Which we juxtapose. The morphing happens. Great, guys. So yeah, Birin,
Why did you put expectation as a P2 and not P1?
Expectation is a conclusion, isn't it? Expectation is a conclusion. What is an expectation? Expectation is concluding an idea of an action or any execution for that matter. Nahin? What do you understand with the word expectation?
That what is currently the status quo, something different from it, like
Should be there. Something different should be there.
Yes.
And you give reasons for that. Why you consider that. That is the intellectualizing perceptions. You know, when we give reasons that I'm supporting my sensation with reason, that this sensation is very much justified. You know, 2 equals to 5. You see, 2 equals to 5, you understand? Justification of the expectation. So your expectation will definitely have some reasons which you might spell out also to justify, but ultimately it is a conclusion that you are making before the actual happening.
So conclusion, isn't it because originating from an idea, the P3 from psychology, and then getting hit at the physical and at the matter level
Physiology,
of
yes.
sensation, yes. The origin of it is okay. Somehow I get confused. I mean, perceiving the origin of it as the like physiology for psychology.
The origin is a perception. Origin definitely starts with a perception, with a perceptional proposal, like we may call it as an imagination, assumption, or idea, or whatsoever. But it's definitely hit into your mind first. Then the reason is you have not inquired that. That particular proposal in form of idea, imagination, assumption has not been inquired. So it doesn't become your part, but it is trying to become your part with sensationalization. So I'm bluffing myself as if it is the expectation is very much justified. It is within me because it is happening in my chemicals.
Yes.
Great. So let's break for lunch. So around 2 will be joining back. Is that fine? Or was it tiring yesterday, Dr. Kaur?
No, 2 is fine.
Okay,
2 is fine? Okay. Okay.
okay, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Bye.